Hello and welcome back to the Who's He Podcast YouTube channel. And this time I'll take a look at the latest episode of The Mandalorian, Chapter 20, The Foundling, directed by Grief Karga himself, Carl Weathers. So how did he do in this short 30-minute episode? Well, to be fair, he packed quite a bit in, and this episode is really dedicated to the little green fella, Grogu. Fans will be pleased to know that there are no extended trips to Coruscant this week, and picks up where last week left off, with Din and Bo-Katan now fully inducted into the Children of the Watch. And to kick things off, we see all the Mandos in different forms of combat training, with a makeshift blaster range for target practice, and unarmed combat on the judo range. Now, Din thinks Grogu has done enough mucking about, and it decides it's time for Grogu to begin his first test in combat against a fellow Foundling. And it's none other than the Foundling we saw being inducted at the beginning of this season, and he now has a name, Ragnar. We also learn this episode that he is the son of Paz Vizsla, the hulking Mando with the Star Wars minigun. The pair of them face off with, well, basically paintball guns, and after a bit of encouragement from Din, Grogu begins a couple of full sleeps, which to my mind look a bit ropey if I'm honest, but any best Ragnar. After Ragnar goes to the lake's edge for a sulk, he is quickly snatched by a raptor and taken back to its nest with Mando's jetpacking in hot pursuit before running out of fuel. Bo leads a rescue mission to retrieve Ragnar before they return with a missing Foundling and also with 3 baby raptors that they somehow managed to cram inside the gauntlet, and you know someone will be riding them come the end of this season. But with Din and Bo away, the armourer takes Grogu to the forge where she makes him his first piece of armour for passing his first test, with Din's Mudhorn signet engraved on it. But while the armourer is giving Grogu a history lesson on being a Mandalorian, Grogu has a flashback to the Jedi Temple and Order 66 and how he escaped the Purge. Also, with Bo losing a piece of armour to the Raptor, the armourer forges Bo a replacement, where Bo casually mentions that she has seen a mythosaur, to which the armourer, well, doesn't really have any kind of response. Now, all of this does sound good on paper, and it does have some great moments this week, but none of it really amounts to anything. However, what this episode really does do is to further Grogu's and Bo's characters with regard to Mandalorian society. Grogu has now begun his journey into becoming a Mandalorian, but because he cannot yet speak, he cannot speak the creed and therefore cannot wear a helmet. Though how that will look, I really do not know. It was also interesting to see the flashback to Order 66. Now there were 2 things in this scene that stood out for me. Firstly, the clone troopers, which rather than being CGI creations as they were in Revenge of the Sith, they were actors in full clone trooper armour, and it looked so much better for it. I never really engaged with the clone troopers until, well, recent years really, mainly because they weren't stormtroopers who just looked, well, really cool to be honest. But seeing them in their 501st livery looked amazing, and as the 501st were Anakin Skywalker's division, I was half expecting to see Hayden Christensen, but unfortunately, well, that didn't happen. But the other thing I really liked in this flashback was the Jedi who saved Grogu and who got him off Coruscant, and who was played by none other than Ahmed Best. Poor Ahmed Best. Star Wars fans really turned on him after playing Jar Jar Binks in The Phantom Menace. And while I didn't like Jar Jar either, and Ahmed Best only did what he was asked by him by George Lucas, turning on him like that was disgusting. So to see him here as a Jedi and wielding 2 lightsabers was pretty damn cool, and I hope was a 2-finger salute to the naysayers. Now, coming back to Bo-Katan, it certainly looks like she's becoming accepting of following the way and becoming an active participant with the Children of the Watch. She creates the plan to rescue Ragnar, and she asks Din how to eat without taking a helmet off, and is welcomed back as a hero and opens up to the armourer regarding the mythosaur. However, I'm still not sure where her loyalties lie, and I think the showrunners are certainly, well, trying to keep us on our toes with regard to this. Other highlights this week was that Paz Vizsla appears to now have a grudging respect for Din and Bo. Din saved Ragnar's life after he fell from the clutch of the raptor. We get a "this is the way" moment between the 2 of them, and when the Mandos go their separate ways to eat, Paz informs Bo that she has the honour of sitting by the fire to eat, as she was the one who is leading the mission. Again though, I'm not sure about Paz Vizsla due to his family history on Mandalore, but I do hope they don't go down a predictable route and have him betray them with a lust for power. We also had another Ray Harryhausen moment this season with the Raptor. Now this was certainly straight out 1 million years BC, and the Mandos taking it down was very well realised. But this is the halfway point of the season, and so far it's been doing a lot of world building with not an awful lot to show for it. We still have no antagonist and no real sense of where this season is heading. And I'm getting frustrated with this. It appears right now that this season is about Bo, and I'm certain this will end with her riding the mythos on, proclaiming herself the ruler of Mandalore. But, well, surely that can't be it. Last week we had the mystery of where all those TIE fighters came from. Certain rumours seem to suggest that this is down to Grand Admiral Thrawn, and that we will see him in this season. But it would make more sense if this was going to be Moff Gideon. But as we've only had a couple of mentions of him so far, I'm even beginning to doubt that. So all in all, this was another treading water episode. It achieved a little with Grogu and Bo-Katan, but apart from that, it was filler. Gorgeous looking filler, but filler nonetheless. Maybe next week we will see the season pick up a gear, but right now, I'm not holding my breath.